What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Run 7 show. As always, feel free to skip ahead. Here's the highlights from the previous 2 months. Welcome to Kids Stream, everybody, where it's nothing but chaos the entire time. Making dreams come true. Oh, easy street. Anytime you can auto anything, you should. Everybody and their robotic mother is watching us right now. Somebody hit the life alert. You never know when you're gonna catch me with my pants down. Oh, Jesus Christ. I don't try to look like a dumb teenager for vanity reasons. I'm Keanu Reeves! I'll put a lot of things in my mouth. I don't want to put that in my mouth. She's interactive. I don't mind objectifying women, I just don't want to torture them. Do what makes you happy, even if it's having your testicles stepped on by a woman in stilettos. She sounds more mentally stable than my ex-wife. Cause he's gonna pay me, lady. I do things for money. Bunch of tree-hugging hippies. Don't point at me. Not at my face. And not at the crotch. You steal somebody's car and people try to murder you. How is that even fair? If they're deaf and blind and only have one leg, I might be able to get them. I know you're all on sugar highs from stealing your kids' candy, but y'all need to go to bed at some point. She's saying that your safe word should have less than 5 syllables.
Sure.
That's too much for me. I don't want to f my video game. Oh yeah? Oh yeah? Oh my God, are you kidding me? Rello comes in here and gets it? Frickin' Rello gets it? I'm sorry, that was the opposite of what I wanted to happen right there.
Oh, you wanna go? You wanna go?
It's as chaotic in this room as it is on the screen. I just want you guys to know. My genius has amazing amounts of creativity to solve these problems. I'm doing good enough this month that I'm not taking any sort of Well, I'm always taking donations, Chad. Feel free to donate anytime you want. So far, we're the friendliest murderers in the history of Arc Raiders. Damn it if I can't help myself but be nice to people. It's all your fault, West. I'm perfect and you're wrong. This is a handsome facade, guys. I'm not gonna blemish this. I'd rather die pretty. The Run 7. Oops, that wasn't what I meant to do. That wasn't what I meant to do. I was trying to heal and I threw a grenade at myself. Oh, man. Great, guys. Thanks for the support, Chad. Appreciate it.
I hate you so much.
If you're watching this on YouTube, feel free to stop by my live Twitch stream anytime you want to with me. She wouldn't sleep with us, but still, that probably just means she's classy. I'm pushing my buttons. You're pushing my buttons. I'm in trouble. 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 Just remember, guys, little swords get to go hill deep. I'm gonna ground my son for making me play this. We got all 3. I am the greatest ever. So I just had the most brilliant idea while I was outside peeing on a bush. Fuck it. Let's have some fun.
Oh boy. Well, at least I didn't have a heavy loadout.
Oh no! Ah! Holy shit! I didn't realize what I was getting into. Oh my God! Run! Run! Lower! Lower! Not too low! Not too low! Ah! Ooh! Ah! That was in the chest. All right. Ah! 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 Ah!
Okay.
Ah!
Be honest.
I what? No countdown? Really? Holy fuck balls! Oh, thank you very much. Wow, Cyberpunk just getting better every time we play it. Whatever, look up at that night sky and remember me, bitches. I got the best viewers. I swear. What's up, everybody? I don't have my headphones even on yet. I was trying my best to get going for stream here. We're gonna connect with Dan in just a second. And then we will get started on rating of Primer. Our rating of Primer. Sorry, discombobulated here. Why are you not on my screen? Nope. Just got a copyright strike because it started playing the wrong playlist. That's okay. Who cares? We'll get there eventually. Yeah, so we're doing Primer today. If you haven't seen Primer, then you should travel back in time and watch it and then come back to now and check it out. I think it is the greatest time travel movie ever made. I'm gonna just throw it out there right now. I think it's the greatest time travel movie ever made. I think it's genius. I think it was a real piece of work. I've seen it dozens of times, and it still confuses me. And we're gonna dive into it. And I'm gonna try and coach the guys through what happened in the movie, because they probably had to watch it twice to understand it. It is an incredibly complicated movie. Yes, Wonderful D, I think it's better than Terminator 2. But it's not, that's apples to oranges, right? Like a $7,000 budget for Primer, $700 million budget for Terminator 2, or whatever they did, right? A little bit different there. All right, let's get over to this one. And what's going on here? Left display, there we go. We're gonna jump in and talk to Dan here. Hey, Dan, are you there? Dan's not there yet. That's okay. I need to finish doing my actual rating before we get to this movie, so it'll be just a minute. What's up, Miss Hillary? What's up, Panda Blue? What's up, Wonderful D? Miss Hillary coming through on both YouTube and Twitch. Remember, if you're watching this on YouTube, you can always come over to Twitch. There's a bit more interactivity. Although during our rating, whether you're watching on my stream or Dan's stream, and even sometimes Will's stream, we usually turn off a lot of the chat redemptions because we are recording this for a video to go to YouTube. Yeah, wow. Wow, I did not realize how much I liked this movie until I rewatched it and then put it through a grade. That's kind of crazy. Excuse me while I run to the storage locker. She got a chance to watch it before the rating. Oh, well, I'll watch it after the spoilers. Wonderful D, honestly, we're going to spoil the hell out of this movie, and it's probably going to help you understand it better, and you're still going to be a little bit lost when you watch it. It is a very challenging movie to understand. And when you start reading the conspiracy theories, it opens up this huge rabbit hole that you get to go down and go, wow, I didn't know that could even be, but it could, because it works. It's just really interesting. So don't worry about the spoilers. Here we go. I'm going to do some math here. I think that's it. Is that right? That doesn't look right. That doesn't look right. There's no way. There's no way. There's no way that's right. 70 plus and 5. That might be right. Wow. Wow. Okay. Okay. That looks good to me. All right. I'll go with it. It's crazy. That's kind of crazy, but that's what it is. I don't want to like spoil it for you guys. You'll have to wait until the end of the rating to get the actual rating. It was a good movie. I enjoyed it, but I was super confused. I often like being confused by a movie. It makes a rewatch more fun. This one's so amazing because every time you rewatch it, you see things that you didn't see. But it doesn't just like, oh, that adds to the film. No, it will change the whole film. And you'll just go like, oh, I didn't realize that was happening. So it's pretty cool. I'm missing our rating, but I may watch it over the weekend. Look, it took me longer to clue into what was going on than I think it should have. I was happy as a kite. Hillary, the first time I watched the movie, I didn't know what was happening at all. I just knew it was really cool, but I immediately turned around and watched it, or just rewatched it right then and there, 2 times in a row. And after the second time, I thought I understood what was going on, but I was wrong. It took like 5 times watching it before I really understood what was actually happening. I'm not missing our rating even. I can't type for shit today. Yeah. Yeah, I hope that the movie doesn't make anybody feel dumb. I hope it makes people feel very, very smart as they start to unravel it. because it's meant to be confusing. It's meant for you to not understand what's going on, because it's meant for you to understand time travel from one reference point when multiple loops of time travel are happening and you're not seeing them happen. So things are strange and you don't know why. Primer. The movie is Primer, Demillion. We're going to be going over it in R rating as soon as Dan opens the damn curtain, but he doesn't seem to be here today. I don't know why. He said he was here. Yeah, it was well, we're doing, so it's, what are we calling it? March Madness, where Dan, Will, and myself each pick one movie that the three of us have to watch, and each week we take turns going through our movies. Plus, of course, the Patreon pick at the end of the month. And Primer was my pick. I've been talking about it for a long, long time, and I just don't know when I'm going to have the opportunity to make these guys watch it. My other choice that I was considering was going to be Whiplash, because one, I want to see Whiplash again. I thought it was a powerful movie with great actors. And I was curious what the guys thought of it. One of them has seen it though. And so I was like, you know what? I'll just take the opportunity to go for Primer. Oh, hold on, Casey Wymie. We're on a different screen here. So let me get things set up so your HUD effect stuff will work. Come on. So I was working as usual today. There we go. There, now HUD effects will display like it's supposed to. I was working as usual. I've got black paint all over myself, my hands, and everything. I was painting a coffee stand, a 7 Brew coffee stand. I don't know if you know that. If you're from the West Coast, it's like a Dutch Bros. It's just a drive-through coffee stand. Actually, it has the same color scheme as Dutch Bros. Anyway, I painted one here in my hometown, and they liked it so much, they said, hey, would you mind doing this over in this other city, which is an hour and 45-minute drive away? And I was like, I got to charge you for drive time, but sure. And they're like, yeah, do it. And so I drove over there today and spent the whole day painting that one. And then they were like, so do you do other stuff too? And I'm like, yep, I do anything for money. So they are going to have me come back out there on Saturday and do some pressure washing and some, I got to work on some trim and stuff on the building. So I'm excited because they're popping up these 7 Brew stands all over the place. It's real good money for me. And they like my work and they like the rate I'm charging. I think they just have super deep pockets. The guy even said, he's like, we have an extensive budget for repairs and updates to this, and we're prepared to pay you whatever you need. You're doing good work. Don't worry about it. So I'm like, sweet. So I was doing that all day. Just got back. Otherwise, I'm staying busy like always. Mowing some lawns tomorrow. Sharpening lawnmower blades for other customers. And I got to install an oven in this guy's house. So
I hope you do.
Staying real busy. Yeah, real busy. I would say that I am working a little bit more than I would like to. But that's only because I have so many things that I want to get done. Like, I still haven't done my taxes. Got to get that. That takes me like a whole day to get the taxes done. And then I've got a bunch of other stuff that I want to do, just like updates to the house. I went and put new faucets, fixtures in all the bathrooms, three new faucets, all new plumbing, new shutoff valves, everything, redid it all. And so I want to go through and do the rest of the fixtures, like the ceiling fan, the bathtubs, the towel hangers and stuff. They have like that gold towel hangers and coat racks and stuff. And I mean, it's not on a level of like Donald Trump, but I really don't like gold fixtures in my house. And so I am trying to get rid of them as I go. Yeah, I should have told him about taking my shirt and pants off for subs. I bet I could have raised the price, huh? Yeah. I used up the last of my vacation for tonight and then the Sunday for Patreon pick movie. I really want to see the Patreon pick. What's the Patreon pick this month? What are we doing? And how come this one isn't updated? I'm going to delete everything in chat here by refreshing my chat. That's okay. I guess I got it up on this other window. I can always use it. So just waiting for Dan to bring me up on the screen. Dan, if you're listening, I'd love to be a part of the party here. It says discussing Rumble in the Bronx, but we're not discussing Rumble in the Bronx. Oh, American Beauty is the one we're watching this? Oh, okay. That's one of my favorite Kevin Spacey films. I liked him better in House of Cards, but I love him in American Beauty. I thought it was a great movie. I know Kevin Spacey did something that got him in trouble, but I don't want to know what, because I want to continue enjoying his stuff. And if he was like touching kids or something, that's about the one thing that stops me from enjoying an actor. Is there like, do you guys get caught up when an actor does something IRL? Do you stop watching their films? Is there things that stop you from watching their films and things that you're like, I don't care about that? Like Wesley Snipes cheating on his taxes? I don't care. Good for you, bro. Government deserves a little competition, right? But I usually don't care what they do. I don't care about their religion, their politics. I don't care if they had an affair. I mean, I don't even care if our president has an affair, right? Like Bill Clinton had an affair and I was like, good on you, bro. The economy's humming along. Apparently, so's your office. So it doesn't bother me until you get into pedos. And then I'm done. I just can't. I can't think about that person anymore, you know? Domestic violence or abuse in any way, that's a good one, right? Why is Chris Brown still allowed to make music? I saw that video. I have trouble listening to Chris Brown songs now. Still good music, but when I hear his voice, I think about him beating the shit out of Rihanna, and I have trouble enjoying that music. So that's not cool. So, yeah, I guess domestic violence is kind of a thing. How come Dan's video flickered there for a minute? I thought maybe he was getting us going. What is going on, Dan? He's like, I'm here. Sorry, tech issues, 1 sec. Okay. Well, Dan's having tech issues, I guess. So we're just waiting. But then you have the other end of the spectrum.
Chris?
Where Eminem and SV. Who's SV? And what did Eminem do? Unless they done a serious crime, it impacts what I watch. It doesn't impact what I watch or listen to. DV. Who's DV? What did Eminem... See, I'm not into pop culture because I don't care. I don't care what people do in their personal lives. I just want to be entertained. I don't need to know the actor's name for them to entertain me. That's why I don't really memorize actors, writers, directors, because I just don't care. Now that I'm doing R rating, I'm paying attention. I actually sit through like the first 5 minutes of the ending credits, not because I'm waiting for the hidden Marvel post-credit video, but because I'm actually reading what's on the screen and going, oh, that person's name is so-and-so. Is domestic violence. Eminem and domestic violence. I didn't know that Eminem necessarily did anything other than just like get arrested for being a little rompous. Did he like beat somebody down or something? Because I just, when it comes to TV, movies, and music, I want to be transported away from real life. And as long as what that artist did in real life doesn't distract me from their form of art, I'm okay with it. But certain forms of domestic violence, pedophilia, are showstoppers for me. I don't think he actually did anything, but promotes it severely in his music. Oh, okay. Yeah, like Stan, like the song Stan, throwing the wife in the trunk and driving 90 down the freeway and all that. Yeah. That's true. I kind of think of it like there's some rappers out there that talk about being hardcore on the streets and slinging dope and everything. And they were, like raised in like a private school and they got rich parents. I'm like, it was all bullshit. I just kind of always assumed Eminem was kind of exaggerating a little bit, But do you think I don't know and rap every word of Stan? You're wrong. Okay. Yeah. Well, and Stan samples a great song that it builds off of. I love when rap musicians, artists, rappers, I don't even know what you call them. That's how out of touch I am. When they sample good songs that are different, like, dude, and here's somebody who did some shit, right? Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, Puffy Woods, Sean Combs, whatever the fuck he's going by, he did some shit. You don't need 1,000 gallons of baby oil or whatever they found if you're not doing some crazy stuff. So now his songs, they distract me because I've heard too many stories. But before all that stuff came out and before people were getting diddied, I really liked his music because he was sampling amazing and interesting songs, and he was building his own tunes behind other artists that were really cool, like the Notorious B.I.G. I don't think Stan promotes the violence. He just talks about it happening, and it's not even from his perspective. That's true. Eminem kind of talks about how, hey, Stan, you need to relax, dude. It's okay. I just missed you at that last place. Here's an autograph for your little brother or whatever. And so he's kind of like, it's showcasing the wrongness of that violence. But a lot of people don't stop to listen to the end, right? Lots of horror movies have happy endings and could be a tale of caution. Or a cautionary tale, as we like to say. But most people just go, no, that's too violent. I don't want to see people getting chopped up. It's kind of how you view it. It doesn't impact if I listen to music. Speech doesn't matter at all. I think the professional term is rapscallions. That's, if it's not the professional term, it is now. Kill You is all about killing his wife, huh? I don't know if I've heard that one. I haven't listened to a lot of Eminem recently. Music speech has unlimited interpretations. I agree with that. You can take a song any way you want. That's why I like listening to acoustic music. Music that just doesn't have words to it, right? Lo-fi beats of songs I already know is great because then I can listen to a song that might be a violent or angry song, but it's lo-fi now and there's no words, so I can just relax to it. It's kind of weird, but I do actually like lo-fi because they take the words out and it allows me to interpret the feeling of the sound rather than the words dictating my emotions and reaction to the song. I do mind seeing people chopped up. Oh, you don't mind? Off the Eminem LP or the other one? Marshall Mathers LP shaped my life in many ways. I can agree to that too, Hillary. There was a time, man. Of course, Beavis and Butthead shaped my life too, and that's not something I'm real proud of. But it did impact me for a while there. Come on, Dan, get going. Talking about Beavis and Butthead over here for crying out loud. Let's go. I'm gonna send him a waiting GIF. How do I send that? Where's the GIF button? There it is. Okay, GIF. There's my favorite one, Mr. Bean checking his watch. It's my favorite one. Alanis Morissette was first CD I ever owned. Marshall Mathers was high school for me. Dude, Alanis Morissette? What's the one? What If God Were One of Us? Was that Alanis Morissette? Was that one of her songs? What if God was one of us? Just a slob like one of us. Just another one of us trying to make his way home. Yeah. Your American is showing. That's not an Alanis Morissette song? Who does that one then? Alanis Morissette was the one who sat in her video was her sitting in all four seats of the car and the camera kept panning around to all four of them. A little ironic, that's it. Yeah, okay. Ray Parker Jr. Chartbuster was my first cassette. I don't know that one, Bubba Hotep. I don't know that one at all. Do I need to log out of this and come back to it? Dan's being mean, man. I'm out of there. Screw that. Screw that. We're just gonna go here till Dan tells me otherwise. If you're wondering why I'm sitting outside of a U-Haul, it's because the U-Haul played a moderate role in the movie Primer. I wouldn't say significant role. I would say a moderate role. I think Joan Osborne was one of us. If God, okay, Joan Osborne. All right. Well, I like Joan Osborne then, until you tell me that she was a pedophile. Don't tell me that. Just don't tell me. Hey, if any musician is a pedophile or beat their spouse, just don't tell me. Just let me live in my ignorance and enjoy their music. And I'll be happy with it. My first cassette was Night Ranger. Night Ranger's not bad at all. That's a good cassette right there. A slob like one of us. Ace of Base. Oh my goodness. Ace of Base. I still rock out to Ace of Base to this day. Touch Themselves. I saw the sun. It opened up my eyes. I saw the sun. That's a great song, man. Last Paradise. What's Naquan? What's Naquan Last Paradise? What is that? Is that a new game? Still my go-to cleaning music. I am curious what it looks like in the agent household when Will's there all by himself, got the music cranked up, and he's got a mop and he's cleaning the kitchen. I want to see that. I want to hear that playlist and watch him dance, singing into that microphone mop. I want to see that. I know that's happening, and I'm missing out on it. Somebody needs to plant a camera in the agent household so we can see that. I was hoping to meet Ace of Base to ask them what the sign said. It said, make this song, it'll top the charts. Buttloads of Bieber. Naquan is a bit like PUBG or DayZ, zombie survival game. It's in early alpha testing at the moment. CA and Dadpool played it this morning. Okay. Is it better than Toxic Commando? Toxic Commando was fun, but it felt like it needed polish. It felt like it didn't have the right balancing yet, and I didn't feel like it had enough cooperative aspects. It felt like you could go through with 1, 2, 3, 4 players, didn't matter. People were just shooting and moving, and I wanted things where, like, it required 4 people and you had to do all 4 things simultaneously. I wanted stuff like that. It didn't have any of that. And it felt a little bland because of it. It was more like you just need a good driver, and that was kind of it. If somebody's a good driver and other people know where to shoot, you just kind of cruise through it. That's it. This one needs lots more polish. Is anyone getting Toxic Commando? I won't if I'm the only one. We all got the demo, Bubba Hotep, and tried it. I just don't feel like it's polished enough for me to buy the full game. I had fun with it. It was just, it it wasn't enough. I already have an extraction shooter that I like to play with other people, and I'd rather just play that than jump into Toxic Commando. Is it better than Marathon? Well, depending on who you ask, everything's better than Marathon, and Marathon is better than everything. So that's a tough question right there. I haven't played Marathon, so I don't know. Ghoulies live? Oh, I should probably go back to my screen, huh? Hold on. I closed the window and never even brought it back up. Holy moly, Crow coming in with 100 middies.
100 bits.
You're freaking amazing, Crow. Thank you for that. Crow's always dropping a handful of bits. Just walks in like they're releasing doves. Every time they come into the room, and the bits come flying down. It's fucking amazing. Okay. R rating. We're going to go over here. Discussing primer. He's got the right thing on there. All right, let's see if he lets me in. Waiting for the host to join. There he is. Okay, we're good. We're good. We're good.
Oh, we are far from good, but we're here.
Why? What's the matter? What happened? What's gone wrong today?
All of my audio is being weird.
Uh-oh, what updated?
I don't know. That's the annoying part. But
oh, Will's inside the self-storage. I'm outside the self-storage.
You ever have that problem where like a USB is just constantly turning on and off, like just like boo-doo?
Oh, sounding like somebody entering and exiting the Discord channel when you're trying to watch a movie?
Kind of, but it's not. Obviously, it's not the Discord. It's like a USB is like connecting and disconnecting from my computer, and I cannot find it, and it's driving me fucking insane. Also, I had a game ready, but I don't have it ready enough, so we're gonna have to skip that, unfortunately. But whatever, we can do that next week.
That's okay.
All good.
I plan on us needing to talk about this one a little bit more than most.
I don't got much to say, so.
Oh, okay.
Meaning you were planning on this going longer than normal, or
I kind of thought it would. We'd have to discuss what we actually thought happened.
You actually think stuff happens in this movie?
Oh, lots of stuff happens. I've done it after watching it with you guys, the second half, since I showed up late to my own hosting party. After watching the second half, I rewatched it again. So that was like 3 times in a row in the span of 4 days. And then I went down a rabbit hole of conspiracy theories about the movie and found lots of interesting tidbits, which caused me to rewatch it yet again to look for some of those things for myself.
Interesting. So you've seen it
four times, 3.5 times in the last week.
Wow. I am knocking on your door if you care.
Oh, thank you.
Come and knock on my door.
If anybody knows, I thought it was my Stream Deck that was the issue. If anybody knows a way to find what it is, I tried looking on YouTube, tried a couple of different programs. I cannot figure out what this is, and it's driving me batty.
You're hearing it right now, huh?
Every 30 to 40 seconds.
Oh,
so not constant,
really?
but constant enough.
Yeah, that's enough. That's brutal.
Do you have your HyperX headphones on Bluetooth, or did you use the dongle to go?
I use the dongle.
Could be them, maybe.
I mean, it could be. It could be like I've got so many USBs. It could be a lot of things.
Oh, sure, yeah.
This was happening a while ago, and it was my external hard drive. So I unplugged that, but I haven't used that in a while, and it kind of went away. But
good one, Bubba. Good one, Bubba.
Bubby here with the high class jokes. Okay, I'm gonna close that.
Just
now.
entertaining himself. It's fine.
What am I wanting to do? Oh, I need to open up a bunch of stuff. Okay. So I had everything open and then restarted my computer, hoping that by some miracle that would fix the problem. But
so Will obviously hates the movie, and Dan's in a bad mood because he's got sound effects popping off in his ear. You guys are gonna tank one of my favorite films ever, and I'm gonna cry myself to sleep tonight.
Any night I can make you cry to sleep at night is a pretty good R-rating episode for Dan.
Welcome to me last week. That's the way this is gonna go.
Right?
You don't care about my opinion nearly enough to try to sleep afterwards. All right. That's okay.
I know how I felt when
called
you
primer.
trashed Highlander.
Oh, I see. Here's the thing: is I get to go last, so like you guys I get to rip on you guys, and then you both get to team up on me at the end of the month. So, whee!
I mean, you're used
This
to
will be
that,
the
so that's-
last ever March Movie Madness. We'll just be like,
Yeah,
no.
yeah.
It's almost broke the podcast.
Too dangerous. Friendships were lost.
All right. I can't find. I'm just gonna write it out because I can't find like a logo for this movie.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Yes.
It doesn't
I
have
don't
like an
like this.
official font, does it?
Yeah.
Well, that's just it. And there's so many primers out there that I don't want to like put it on there and be like, "That's a tech company. What are you doing there? Why are
Yeah.
you rating a tech company?"
Is there even a title sequence to this movie? I don't think so.
No, there's no title sequence to it.
There's like a thing on the
That would have cost more money. It wasn't in the budget.
No, exactly.
I would just use the primer written in cables if you can like Photoshop out the ground or something like that. That seems to be the most popular cover.
For here and now, I'm just gonna write it out. And if I can figure out something after the fact, then great.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's fine.
Oh, that's
You can always go back in time and change that.
Wow.
Sure.
Spoiler alert.
Where should you hold this ring? Windows is recently prone to dodgy updates. I assume you tried restarting the computer before you started. I did, Demalion. I did. It did not do what I wanted it to do. All right. So we've got that screen up. We're not doing the game. I've got the list ready to go. I guess I need my actual notes. 1 second. Sorry, guys. I got here like an hour ago trying to be prepared and just
And now
Hey,
you're just suffering
sometimes
through it.
it's like
Hey,
that.
Dan, I wonder if you could just turn down your system sounds to mute that ding dong effect. Could you just turn off your system sounds and just mute them
They are off now. We'll see if that does anything.
without muting me and Will?
Yeah, no,
Or
no, I just
or mute
use
me
the
and Will
system.
too. That might improve your mood as well. I don't know.
That's true. It's true.
No, you guys are usually a boost somehow.
Oh, that's so cute.
No, it beeps.
Damn.
All right. Okay, I think I've got everything here that I need.
Is that a Deadpool sweatshirt?
It is.
Nice, nice.
Had it for a while. It's in real life. It's a little bit fuzzy. Like you can like the. It's not a high quality sweater.
Yeah.
But for some reason, it's so freaking comfortable, and it looks pretty decent on stream. So it's like, yeah, okay, I can work with that. I got it forever ago. I got it actually right before. Oh man, what was his name? What's up? Updog got the exclusive for the Panda Pool. And he saw my sweater. He's like, "Where did you get that? I need that for my costume." I'm like, "I got it from here, but it took like a month and a half, so I don't think you're gonna have it in time." He's like, "Oh, that sucks." And then he wasn't allowed to make that video anyways. So
I got a buddy who's really into Deadpool, a coworker, and he actually has Deadpool's head on a pike in his front yard, which is kind of weird.
nothing
He just-
says I love a character like spiking their head on.
Yeah,
your
he took the mask and he stuffed it and he put it on a pike in the front yard so it looks like Deadpool's head is out there. And of course, if you're a Deadpool fan, you know that isn't necessarily a dead Deadpool. It's just his head's out there.
It's Headpool.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've got the new. I feel like I'm missing something, and I can't think of what. The
KCYME,
noise is still going.
I assume we have to. Yep.
Yeah, I heard it. Is it Batista and
Cavill.
yeah, Cavill in there? You know what? I'm becoming
I knew it was Cavill.
I'm coming up with I'm becoming a big Batista fan, especially after Knives Out. I was very impressed by him. He keeps doing better and better and better.
Agreed. I've been a fan for a while. Not as a wrestler. I never cared for him as a wrestler. I never really
Right.
watched the era
Yeah.
that he was in. But most things I find him in as an actor, I'm like, he's pretty decent.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm as good to go as I think I'm going to be if you guys are ready. I had a note that I wanted to have, but I left it at work because that's the kind of day I'm having.
Yeah, buddy.
So I'm going to try and do this as best I can. Before we get started, because I don't want this to be part of the actual official episode, there was just a couple of things I wanted to go over with, whatever audience members we happen to have around here. One, anybody who's checking out the YouTube will find out that it is no longer Mongooly's movie show. I've been saying for a long time that I want this show to feel like our show, and branding it with Mongooly everywhere just felt inauthentic to that cause. So it is now, the YouTube channel is now R Rating Movie Reviews. So if you are looking us up on YouTube, that is going to be the best way to find it. You can see that the logo in the corner there is now R Rating as opposed to being Mongooly's Movies. There's still a couple of other branding things that I'm going to have to work on, specifically the opening and end credits, as well as the subscribe on YouTube button. All those still say Mongooly Show. I'm going to be working towards making those all say R Rating at one point so that it is better and more inclusive to the group that we are doing. Also, hopefully easier to find and a little bit more obvious for people who do find us randomly on YouTube what we are. To spiral off of that into the podcasts, exclamation mark podcast, you can find the link to all of the podcasts we're on. We've got over 30 episodes on over a dozen websites at this point. If you want to go check any of those out, hit the follow button, hit a review, that'd be amazing. But now the name is kind of the same across the board, whether you're watching us, other than Twitch is the one thing that we can't really change, because I'm not starting a brand new Twitch channel. That seems like kind of shooting myself in the foot. But outside that, YouTube, the podcasts, TikTok, everything that will be R Rating Movie Reviews going forward. So you can check all those things out. I'm still working on branding a couple of the things, but for the most part, they're good. So if you want to see any of those, that'd be awesome. And one thing that I was talking with a friend about is the Patreon, specifically trying to find a way to give a bit more value to you guys. We've got four technically different levels of the Patreon. The $1 level is literally just you're happy to be there. The producer level I'm quite happy with, and the writer level I'm quite happy with. The executive producer level, I don't feel like we are giving people their value for that. If anybody has any ideas on something that we could add to that tier, I would love to hear it. Basically, at this point, all we're really doing is saying your name out loud every episode. We talked about doing a game night, but so far that has not happened a single time. So that's unfortunate. Also, a good friend of mine who I was talking to was surprised to find out that we'd lowered the price of the writers, despite the fact that we did that months ago. So just for the record, it came out originally at being like $50, and we're like, that's way too high. That's insane. We've lowered it to $15. Again, that might be too high for a lot of people, and that's totally fine. Just you being here is good enough. We don't expect anything from you guys. But for the sake of, apparently I didn't announce that when we did it, it is $5, $10, or $15, depending on what level you want to join at, or $1, or honestly free, and just come join us in the Discord over there. Just hang out with us. We're just happy you're all here. I think that was everything that I had on my list of stuff I wanted to just address before we got into this. You guys have anything before we get started?
We're kind of a big deal, chat, these days. Yeah, I'm kind of a big deal.
All right. Let's open the curtain. Of course. Why does it do that every time? And bleep bloop. Go to Will.
All right, we're going to Will. Let's do this thing. Primer 2004. A couple of engineering bros trying to make some extra buckage from side inventions in their garage stumble on something much more financially promising, as long as they're willing to take the time to risk it all. I don't know.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to R Rating, the show where I get together two of my friends. We take a movie franchise, break it down by movie, give it an overall score, and throw it back up on the board to see how it rates compared to the movie franchises. Now, this month, we're doing our March Movie Madness, where every week this month, we're going to get to choose a different movie. Will's going to choose one, Brian's going to choose one, and I'm going to choose one, and we're going to rate that. That way, we don't have to choose one that's part of a franchise. We can just bring something that we love to the podcast, make the other guys watch it, and discuss it. This week, we're talking about Brian's pick, Primer. Obviously being Brian pick, I'm going to start with Will. Will, was this the first time you'd ever seen or heard of Primer?
This is the first time I had seen or heard of Primer.
Glad I went to the big screen for that. Yeah, myself as well. I've talked to Brian. He's brought this one up a couple of times, but this is not one that I'd ever really seen or heard. The poster's vaguely familiar, but not like something that was in my local video store back in the day. I unfortunately joined the watch party a little bit late, so I missed the first 20 minutes of this. So I went back and rewatched it. So I've seen it now, like, I guess 1.75 times. It's a pretty short movie. It's only coming in at an hour and 17 minutes. But Brian, I'd love to hear your quick take on this. Why did you choose this movie?
I'm a huge fan of time travel, but most time travel movies have huge plot holes because time travel is something really challenging to make sense of, to make coherent, to make function and work the way it should. This movie just says, you know what? We're going to confuse you. We're just going to go ahead and confuse you and make this challenging. But in so doing, they enable all of this time travel to really work, at least theoretically, right? And so that's why I like it, because I watch it and I'm like, wow, if that machine really works, then this really could be a thing. And so the poster is what happens if it actually works, and so it's a very exciting movie for me. Not to mention $7,000 budget. I love indie films that can take a small budget and entertain you as well as this does.
Very nice. Yeah, I'm also a big fan of indie films, and I feel like I mentioned to you during the watch party, maybe just after, if I had discovered this maybe in my early 20s, like this came out in 2004, I would have been 22-ish, somewhere in that range. If I discovered it kind of in that era, I might have had a deep, deep love for this movie. It ticks all the right boxes for me at a different time in my life. And I'm not ragging on it. I'm just saying, like, I'm just being honest. I don't know how, I don't revisit movies as often now in my 40s as I did in my 20s, right? Like, if this had been something I had on DVD back then, I probably would have watched it a bunch. But with YouTube, Netflix, access to so much content, I just don't feel the same need to go back over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm. So my big question for you guys, after having seen it, Dan, you said you rewatched it. Will, did you rewatch it, or was once enough for you?
I mean, once was enough for me, but I did rewatch it in the watch party. I was doing some work and just kind of watching it on the side with the watch party, just because I figured I might as well tune in and be there for that. So I did watch it twice.
Okay.
Okay.
Actually, I want to review a question you said last week, Brian, before we get too far into this.
Sure.
Knowing what you know of us, where do you think we're going to rate this movie, having had very little discussion about it up until now?
Okay, well, without reading The Room today, I would say that Will would score this one rather high. After reading The Room, I have my doubts that he enjoyed this at all. So I don't know. Dan, I think that I thought this would be a movie you would really enjoy as long as you understood it. And if you did get an inkling for it, you might rewatch it for all the value there is to, because you rewatch a lot of stuff. If it's interesting, you'll turn around and rewatch it again. I thought this would be one of those that you would rewatch so you could thoroughly understand it and kind of grasp some of the deeper plot lines that are going on that most people don't get on their first run through.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. We'll decide at the end of the movie or the episode how well that
That's right, because at the end of this episode, Dan brings up a billboard of numbers for us to go over, and we give our rating on We give our rating on these movies, and you could see where they land as we average out our scores. We have Dan, Brian, and Will's high, low, and mid numbers. Those average out, and that gives us a score. And of course, we do this for our franchises as well, but in March Madness, it's just going to be the Patreon picks and the individual films that are not franchises.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
Appreciate the additional plug. All right, I have, like, this is going to be a hard one to review because I feel like I'm going to spend the entire episode just asking you questions about this movie that you've seen so many more times than I have. I was hoping to check out like a YouTube breakdown of this because there is a lot going on.
Well, if you'd like, I can give you a quick rundown of what actually happened in the film, what the director, Shane Carruth, who plays Aaron, who writes, directs, produces, paid for, did everything in this film. Everything. I can give you a quick breakdown of what he somewhat intended for this movie to be. He specifically left out important sequences so that the viewer would be confused and not quite understand what's happening. A lot of people complain. They're like, hey, suddenly there's a guy waving a shotgun around at a party and we hadn't heard anything about this. That's part of it, right? So the cliff notes of this is that the guys accidentally stumble upon a time machine, and Abe creates the time machine, tests it out, realizes it works, but before he tests it out, he makes a fail-safe machine, and we don't learn about that till halfway through the film. And then he tests it out, and he goes and he shows Aaron. Aaron learns about the fail-safe machine that Abe didn't tell him about and uses that fail-safe machine to bring back his own time machine so that both of them have a time machine starting at the very, very beginning of all the shenanigans. So at any point in time, they can loop all the way back and start over again if they want, but neither of them know that they're doing this. So then as Abe moves through, he starts to realize that Aaron has been looping back and doing stuff over and over and tinkering with things. So Abe goes all the way back to the beginning, only to find out that Aaron had all gone all the way back to the beginning as well. And by the end of the film, you have two competing timelines. Aaron, who wants to mass produce this time machine and make a bigger box and do lots of time travel stuff, and Abe, who wants to truncate this, stop it from ever happening, and be the only surviving person with the knowledge of this time machine and let it die with him so that the original Abe and Aaron never create the machine in the first place. And what some people don't understand is that when they go back in time, they are actually duplicating themselves. And as long as they don't interact with themselves, then they will end up getting back in the time machine and going back, and then there will be one of them. However, they do start to interact with themselves, and they keep themselves from getting back in the time machine. So now there's multiple versions of them. And some theorize there could be as many as 13 Aarons and 6 Abes running around in this movie, depending on which kind of theory you go by. But they keep looping back and screwing with time and causing problems more and more and more. And that's kind of the ugly gist of the film.
I love that you think that cleared it up.
Yeah, it's
straightforward to me.
It's a tough one.
Forward and back.
Yeah.
Forward and back, yeah. Forward and back, yep.
Do you think taking a concept that's already heady and then overcomplicating it and confusing it is a good filmmaking decision?
I think it's a dangerous filmmaking decision, but in this instance, it works pretty well. I think that Kurth maybe chopped out a little too many pieces. And apparently there is a director's cut around there where they go to the hospital and they see, I believe it's Granger. They see Granger in the hospital, and there's some information about him basically suffering from time travel sickness.
Remind me which one Granger is?
The one that uses the time machine.
Yeah, remember they're like, hey, I saw him, but
Rachel's dad.
I saw him earlier this morning, but he was clean shaven, and now he's got, 5 days growth beard. That's Rachel's dad, Mr. Granger. And so from that take in the cut that we saw, we know that somebody else is messing with time as well, but we have no idea. That's never gotten into. We just know that time travel got sloppy and something's happening in a different loop that we're not part of. And in the director's cut, apparently they go to a hospital and there's a sequence where they see Mr. Granger and he's suffering from time travel sickness. And there's a little bit more information there to clear that up. And there's also some more information about the party scene with the guy waving the shotgun around. I kind of wish they would have left that in, but it also kind of pigeonholes the movie so that the fan theories aren't as proliferate.
Yeah, I don't know if that is necessary in either case. Just because, one, you don't gain that much more information from a scene or two as to like how Granger got there or what is happening to him post time travel, why he's in this coma. That doesn't really matter to what the story is about in my eyes. Like, this is a cautionary tale of like, if you have access to time travel, there's no way you can know how it's going to affect everything once it's out there. And so that's kind of the beauty of not knowing why some of these things are happening or the outcomes of them. You know, that's kind of part and parcel to why this story works as well as it does as a cautionary tale. And so I don't think adding to that matters all that much in the end of this movie specifically.
Fair enough.
I just felt like the Granger bit where they chase him down in the alleyway and the guy's laying on the ground. Like, I wanted more. I wanted to know more about that tale, because all that served was to showcase that things are getting sloppy. That's really all it showcased.
Yeah, no, I think it's the turning point of we are fully unraveled and we are in over our heads.
Yeah, that's when
they already were.
Yes. Abe just didn't know it.
That's when Abe knows, okay, this has gone too far and I have to try to fix things.
And so he goes all the way back to reset.
It's too late. He can't fix anything because Aaron's already gone on his dark tirade and he's in his own selfish world, right?
Did you guys notice that right from the jump, when we start watching, Aaron's already a couple loops in when we, the viewers, start the movie, because he already has his earpiece in.
Yeah, when Abe comes to tell him, he's already in the loops. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I noticed that obviously the second time. The first time I missed the first little bit of the movie, and I wouldn't have known what the earpiece was to start off anyway.
Yes.
So it didn't really register anything. This is a really tough movie to get into. Not only because obviously very low budget and very first-time actors, but also the way the script. Wait till the end of my review for this one, because it's not. This movie is not the sum of its parts. The way I'm gonna have a hard time getting through some of this. The way that Aaron Sorkin writes certain things is he always makes sure that you have a character who doesn't know what's going on to be the audience, so that we can always be talking to that character, so that you go, oh, that's what's happening. And then you end up watching a movie about politics or the law or whatever it is, and you feel smarter as you're doing it, because you're like, oh, I get what's going on now. Because both of the people in this movie are engineers, even if he asks a question, like the timer, he's like, why is there a timer in there? He's like, oh, because, oh, I got it. Yeah. And it's like, no, tell me why the fucking timer's there. Like, he stops him. He's like, oh, I understand. I'm smart enough. And it's like, I get that in that situation, both of them are engineers and both of them are incredibly smart. But for the audience sake, you kind of need one of them to be a little bit further behind. Like, you've got four people at the very beginning, and you almost want to keep the other two in the movie, because otherwise, why are they there? Well, so that they can be the ones who are like, why is this happening, and have it explained a little bit more to you.
A lot of this, so they actually do explain why the timer's there, but it's hard to hear because, and I think this is a director's choice, and I'm not sure if I love it or hate it, but the characters talk over each other a lot in this film. Sometimes it feels like these two are just longtime friends and this is how they communicate. Other times it feels like they're both telling their lines at the same time, and it's just jarbled. And I never really know. I thought it was a choice that they meant for it to be kind of confusing and have people, like, one guy is not listening to his friend as his friend is explaining it, and he's trying to talk or complain while his friend is explaining it, and you're hearing both things happen at the same time and you miss it, like the timer thing. The timer is there so that the box doesn't start up and they are not in the room when their future selves come back through it. So they can get out of the room, then the machine starts up, and then they pop out of it from the future.
Yeah,
and they say that, but it's hard to hear because of the way the dialogue works in this film. Did you guys like the dialogue, or did you hate it, that jarbled way?
I have a really quick question for you beforehand. Do you know the two main actors, Abe and Aaron, Sharon Kurth and David Sullivan, are they friends in real life? Like, are they, like, do they know each other and be like, we should make this movie? Or is David Sullivan like a hired hand?
Yeah, I believe the guy who played Abe, David Sullivan, was hired. They auditioned. Okay. Shane Kurth auditioned for both roles, but couldn't find somebody to play Aaron, so he played it himself. Not that they couldn't find people, but he couldn't find people he liked for the part. Like, to do the dialogue in the way he wanted it to be done.
Sure. I will give them major props for that because they had an ease to them that made me think that they actually were really good friends.
I would have guessed, yeah. I would have guessed they were really good friends. And that's why sometimes the dialogue felt like they were really good friends talking over each other.
Yeah.
And that's just how they do. But every once in a while I was like, I'm pretty sure they're both just kind of saying their lines at the same time and it's coming out a little jarbled. But I don't know.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm fairly confident I read that because they're recording this in the way they are, like the $7,000 budget is literally nothing, even in 2004. So they didn't really have good sound recording equipment. So they're actually dubbing everything they're doing. So this might have been kind of a nightmare in the sound editing bay. And I will give them props for that. The dubbing on this is way more convincing than other movies we've seen from higher level production things. I'm going to go back to Rumble in the Bronx last week or the Dollars trilogy from before.
Just stop.
But like seriously, for the budget these guys have, for the level of skill these guys have, the editing of the sound was actually pretty decent, in the sense that like most of the time when their lips were moving, that was the sound you heard coming out.
Except for the waterfall scene.
Yeah, my issue is with this movie is the sound mixing is bad. So I love like the ambient sound design in this movie and the background noise of like the machine humming and things like that. I really like all those noises and the sound choices, but the mixing of levels is atrocious, and that's what took me out of being like, I can't hear what they're saying, not because they're talking over each other, but because the sound in the background is louder than them.
Yeah.
And the mix is just showing the amateur nature of the filming. So that's what stood out to me, not as much as I didn't mind them talking over each other, that naturalistic kind of like everyday conversations. I didn't mind that at all. And a lot of times if you miss things like the technical mumbo jumbo, they don't pull punches in this. They are talking all kinds of tech stuff all the time. And I don't think that matters that much because you see what is happening in the movie enough to get what, like their technical terms don't matter as long as you get to see what's happening, and they do a good show of showing and telling. And
that walkthrough with Abe in the beginning as he's walking Aaron through it, he's doing that for us, right? Which is and because all that technical jumbo, again, but showing that Aaron already knew everything because he has already been through it. So they like show you multiple times so you can pick it up along the way, and that's kind of the beauty of the writing in this. And I actually prefer this writing and way of telling us about time travel compared to one of the bigger time travel movies of recently, Interstellar. I felt that one, the writing told the audience like again and again, like over the top of like, okay, everybody, we're gonna walk you through this again, and now we're gonna show you on the dry erase board. Exactly. This one, the audience as just people experiencing it and letting you find out along the way, which I prefer to the hand holding of Interstellar, which is like a huge, obviously, difference in movies, directors, budgets, everything. But this I prefer. I just hated the sound mix. Yeah, the sequence when they're looking for the dog and they're out in the waterfall, they're in the center of a water fountain thing, and it was so hard to hear anything. And I was like, why would you record this scene here? Why would you do this? Like, it doesn't even look that good. And like, if you're dubbing it, lower the sound of that. Yeah. Let us hear the conversation a little bit. It's crazy to me. But again, it just shows the lack of experience in the filmmaking itself, which is, whatever. This is obviously a huge passion project, which I respect in a lot of cases as well. So I can only ding it so much. I didn't necessarily have a problem with them talking over each other in certain scenes so much as like there were times where it made it hard to tell when you were supposed to be paying attention versus when what was being said was kind of background fluff. Aren't you always supposed to be paying attention? I think you kind of need to be paying attention the whole time on this one. Well, on this one, sure. But there's a lot of times in movies where there is stuff that is happening that isn't necessarily progressing the plot versus the stuff that is happening that is absolutely essential to the plot. And this movie kind of treats both of those as the same thing. Like the first little bit of this movie, especially on, like if you're walking into this blind, you don't have a Brian telling you what's going on. You're just like, primer, I wonder what this is. And you turn it on. It is a while before they give you any clue as to what is going on in this movie. Like it is just four guys rambling on about tech jargon in their office. At no point do they, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think at any point in the movie they talk about actual time travel.
you can figure out what's going on obviously
Yeah.
because of what they're talking about.
You don't
But
figure out
they're
time
"We created a
travel
time machine bum, bum, bum." Like, it's not-
until he says this mold would take 5 years to grow, but I was doing it every 5 days. That's the first time the viewers go, oh, this is about time travel. And that's a good 20 minutes into the film.
and the movie's only
80
an
minutes or
hour
something.
and 15
Yeah.
minutes or something. That's
Yeah.
a quarter of the movie.
Yeah.
Where you're just like, what is this about?
Yeah, but there are some subtleties in that first quarter where they're showing aspects of these characters and their personalities that will develop and grow over time. Aaron especially, as he's kind of, they're having that round table at the kitchen table as they're putting stickers on envelopes. And they're talking about what their next project is. Aaron obviously wants to make some money. He doesn't want to be dicking around with the other guys. The other guys are like, that's not really fair. We did your thing, now it's our turn. And you kind of see, and then later, he wants to cut him out of the project altogether. And then it goes on and on and on, how he's ready to just stab anybody in the back. So a lot of that up front is the storytelling of these characters' personalities, how Abe is very inquisitive and thinking things through and trying to be very safe. Hey, wait, don't start this. Let me go over the checklist first. Those sorts of things where Aaron is the one who's like, let's go, let's do this. I don't care. Let's blow it all up. And so
Yes and no, though. I kind of found their characters kind of swap throughout the movie because Abe is the one who just goes for it.
right,
jumps in a time
without
machine.
telling Aaron, yeah.
Without telling anybody, and just is like dives in. So he feels more like the reckless character, but kind of midpoint, you see that switch and being like, oh no, Aaron is the reckless one. Abe has actually set up the fail safe. He's actually thought it through. He's actually comes across as more reckless, but is the more thoughtful one.
Do you think that's
I like
intentional
that.
misdirection?
I don't know if it's a misdirection. I think it's just like showing, not everything is what it seems
Yeah.
in this movie, right?
Yeah.
And I think that plays out well in the writing. The only issue I had with the characters in this movie is the emotional attachment to the characters. And this movie, I think, decidedly chose to do that on purpose. Like, you don't get really emotionally invested to either one of these guys.
No.
Whereas in a lot of movies, you want that emotional investment because you can relate to them or, root for them or whatever. And
Yeah.
this one, you don't really get that. And I feel like that's one of the bigger things missing in this movie. And I don't know if that was like a writing choice or a lack of experience in writing. Because one, obviously the time travel is the forefront of this movie and that's what comes across. So mission accomplished, I think. I just don't know if it was a conscious choice to take away that emotional core.
Yeah, I would agree with that entirely. I feel like by the end of this movie, I don't really have a great sense of who these characters are, what their motivations are. The tagline on the poster, there's two. The one you read, I like quite a bit more, the what happens if it works. But the other one is, if you always want what you can't have, what happens when you have everything? And I'm like, what does that have to do with the movie that I just
yeah.
Like, I don't feel like that has anything to do with this. That feels
Abe asks
like a
that
much more
question
grander scope.
in the movie, and they don't really go anywhere with it. There are a couple of times when they do bring in the wives or girlfriends. I'm not really even sure because they don't elaborate on the relationships. At the very end, Abe wants to stay, and Aaron claims it's because, oh, you should just take your girlfriend in the time machine, and then you'll have duplicates of her, and you can go live in opposite hemispheres. They never develop their relationships with their family. They never have a reason to really care about the rest of the world. And I think that's to its detriment. I wish they would have spent a little bit more time building an emotional relationship, the characters with their surrounding fellows, their family, their friends, and then the audience gets a bit of a chance to see who they are on an emotional level.
Yeah, because I thought at the end when they're at the airport, Aaron is telling Abe, why don't you just take my wife and kid and make duplicates of them if that's what you want so badly? Like, he's almost accusing him of wanting to steal his life, or maybe I'm wrong on that, but that
he does mention a couple of times in the film that he's jealous of his family.
Yeah. Which is weird because Aaron doesn't seem to give a crap about his family this entire
Yeah,
like,
Aaron doesn't, yeah.
Other than like one line is like, oh, I have to drop my kid off and then I'll be there right afterwards. And the one scene where they're talking with his wife and she does not want to play the game that they're talking about, where they're like, what would you do if you could do this? And he's like, I'd go punch my boss. And she's like, oh, I'm proud of you, honey. You're a hero. And I'm like, the fuck?
Yeah, and also kind of weird that she calls him a hero, and then he becomes the hero at the party by stopping the guy with the shotgun, which there was actually no danger in it because he knew the future.
Not
right?
only that, there was no danger in it anyways.
Yeah.
In the scene where he wasn't there, the guy shows up, doesn't shoot her, and leaves.
Yeah.
In the scene where he is there, the guy shows up, doesn't shoot her, and leaves. Why was this a plot point for 20 minutes of this movie?
Because he
Who
wanted.
cares? We don't like Rachel. She's not in danger. What are we doing?
Aaron wanted to be a hero, and I wonder if, as a writer, he was trying to plant that seed in the character's mind by that sequence where she says, "Oh, my hero," kind of in a patronizing way almost. And so then he wants to actually be a hero, so he orchestrates this whole thing. And then the narrator, which is also Aaron, by the way, one of the looped Aarons, we don't even know which one, but it's already in the process. Says, now that it's been spoken aloud, it can't be undone. The seed has been planted.
That's about punching the boss in the face, though, right?
I think
That's
it's
where that
about
scene
being a
goes.
hero. I think it's about being a hero. And so,
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay,
Let
I
me
thought they
jump
kept
on
talking
you
about
here.
killing the boss, or not killing the boss, punching the boss.
Punching the boss.
Yes.
Correct me if I'm wrong. In the end, whatever reality at the end of the day, isn't it Abe who saves the day to look better for Rachel? I thought Aaron went through it all and then gave that information to Abe at the end. So that
Yeah, because
he would
Aaron's
look
married
like the
to
hero.
whatever his wife's name is.
Mhm.
what do you mean? I'm confused.
Aaron
Aaron's
went
already
through-
married.
Yes.
Yeah, Aaron went
Abe
through
is
all
the
the
hero.
loops to learn everybody's conversation, know what to say, know what to do, knows when the guy comes, knows they can go and get the bullets out of his gun. He goes through, he becomes the hero, but they do all of that so that Abe can then do it and become the hero because it's Abe's girlfriend. And my thought was Aaron wanted to do that for Abe, one, for the girl, but more importantly for Granger or whatever his name is, the potential investor. who
Granger.
wanted to be Granger to be an investor for them.
I see.
They would look better.
So
for him.
if Abe rescued Granger's daughter, they'd get funding. Okay, this makes sense. See, the more you get into this movie, the more things you find about it, right? That's why I like this movie, because there's just so many things that are going on. I don't even want to call it layers, because there aren't layers to this. It's such a complicated movie with loops and stuff.
It's a ball of yarn.
Yeah, it's a ball of yarn. So
tangled ball of yarn.
yes, I do like that there are basically two competing timelines at the end. There's Aaron's, who's going big with time travel, and there's Abe's, he's shut down any ability for people to travel through time from his perspective. Now, they still exist in the same world, and the prime Aaron, if it's even the actual prime Aaron, we don't know, can be messing with time, but hopefully he will take Abe's advice and stay away from him so the time won't really be affected too much from Abe's perspective. But he'll never know, because he shut down time travel in his area. It's kind of complicated.
But
Yeah.
it looks like Aaron goes to France and makes a bigger one.
And
Right.
how,
But isn't there 3 Aarons?
at least,
Three, right? So
At least 3
one goes
Aarons.
off to build his own time machine.
Yes.
One, in theory, lives his normal life unknowing about time
Right?
travel.
There's another
And then
one, the hooded
third-
one. The hooded
Yeah,
one who
what-
was like,
We don't know what he's up to, right?
yes. Yep.
Whereas there's only 2 Abes that we know of, one going through his normal life and one trying to protect ever time travel from happening.
Yes. Yes.
Can't.
And
It's already a screw
it's-
from Aaron.
it's really interesting. In the beginning, they start the time machine with its timer, and then they go stay in a hotel room for the entire day, being bored. And then at the end of the day, they go back into the time machine after they've already collected their data on what stocks to trade. And they go back into the time machine, and then they live their normal day, knowing that they're sitting in a hotel room. I personally would have done it the other way around. I would have lived my normal day, then gone back in time and sat in the hotel room and made trades, is what I would have done. But they do it the other way. And then they start to get where, from Abe's perspective, they start to tinker with stuff and do things outside of the hotel room. It all starts with Aaron, he answers the phone on accident and nothing bad happens, right? And
that
so
they
then
know of.
that they know of. And they're like, are you okay? Yeah, I feel fine. And they can still remember everything as well. So they start to go, oh, okay, it doesn't rewrite us once we've gone back.
Question about that though. Because I believe in one of the scenes, he answers the phone, talks to his wife. She's talking about dinner plans. But then he gets in the box, goes back in time. His clone wakes up, goes through his normal day, does not receive that phone call, and then doesn't know about the dinner plans?
That's right. That's right. And
so the wife is just getting more and more pissed off with this guy who's flaking.
Probably another showcase of Aaron being the true villain.
So, right.
Also, there's one part in this movie where Aaron drops the 3-letter F word, and I thought that was a weird choice. Maybe at the time,
So casual.
Maybe at the time it was not such a harsh word to be throwing out there, but to hear it today, I was like, wow, that really shows what a douchebag this guy is to be using kind of terminology like that. So I don't know, that might just be me and my perspective, but it was a weird word because I don't hear that word dropped like that in cinema very often anymore.
There's a lot of things from, this is 2004, but like from the 90s that look bad in 2026.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and I'm not excusing it. I'm not at all.
I'm just wondering if it was a directorial choice as a hint that this is a bad guy who does bad things.
I don't know. It's hard to say. I don't remember the context
version
of the
him
movie.
is bad, right? This version of him.
Sure.
I don't know if all of him are bad.
Yeah, you don't know. I mean, the original version that doesn't ever discover time travel from Abe's perspective might turn out to be a great friend and a good guy because he just never gets his hand on the golden goose, right? But because he then has everything, he becomes a bad person. So maybe that other line on the title is actually valid because Aaron does discover how to have everything, his cake, and eat it too, 3 or 4 times if he wants. But he becomes a pretty bad person, screwing over anybody and everybody.
He's not really the one getting everything though, right? Like to some extent, they're giving what they have to the other person.
Well,
unless I'm really missing.
But Abe doesn't want to go back and be that hero for Rachel or Mr. Granger or any of that. Abe doesn't want that. So maybe it was good intention, but by the end of it, Aaron's like, we're going to build this big box. We're going to do this. That's obviously greed because he's screwed things up and he knows it, but he's still going to keep playing with time.
Okay.
See,
I have a
lots
question
of
for you.
Okay, another question.
The way that Abe describes it to Aaron, and I have to draw this out, so I'll try and do it without drawing it. Is you get in at A, go to B, and then you can go back to A, but he makes it like a loop, like you are constantly kind of bouncing off 2 walls, and you can kind of get in or out at one of the walls.
Right.
With the machine that is going, because like they time it, like, oh, this is going to be an 8-hour thing. We're going to turn it on now, so it's ready for this time. But then with the machine, the fail-safe machine that is just on and running for days at a time, so they can.
I think it's about 4 days.
How can they get in it at any time that they want and end up back at A?
They don't really explain that one other than to say it's not a one-time use like they thought it was. You can, as long as the machines are running, you can do some math and you can get in or out whenever you want. And as
time, like do you have to be in there for the amount of time that you're going back? So
I think so.
In there for 4 days.
I think so. I think either the loop is bigger and you're going to be asleep. They gas themselves because they fill the machine with argon, and so they have to have gas to breathe. That's why they need so many tanks. They need a ton of gas to just knock themselves out and be asleep for this really long travel all the way back 4 days. So I don't know if the loop is bigger or if they're looping more times. I'm not really sure. I think the loop is bigger, and so it takes a lot longer to go from B back to A, is what it is.
Well, my point is, at any time you get in, is it just B whenever you get in? Like, I thought you had to kind of get in at a certain time and get out at a certain time. And then with the big machine, it's almost like you can get in whenever you want and get out.
I think that from the time the machine starts till you get in, this becomes B, and this is always going to be A, the starting point. So, so you can always
go back to when it was started because that's when it started. You can't go past that, obviously.
Sure.
But it's running the whole time, so you can jump in any time to go back to that point.
And I think the loop just gets bigger, so you have to be asleep in the machine longer, and that's why he needs so many tanks of gas to breathe and get through.
And when Abe goes back, because it's been so long, that's why he's so dehydrated. He's a mess. He faints when he actually goes to talk again to Aaron for the first time, finding out that it's not Aaron the first time. Right, and so
yes,
like
that makes sense.
Because it took him 4 days in the machine, so he's just dead.
When I first watched this, I thought that they were killing themselves and taking over themselves. I didn't know that they were just knocking themselves unconscious and hiding them in the closet or the rats in the attic. Yeah. And so that's why I thought Abe collapsed, because he was so disheartened that he had just murdered himself. But really, he was just knocking himself out with that gas, xenon gas or whatever they used to knock him out.
Yeah, I thought it was a prestige thing. Whereas, like, well, only one of us needs to survive, and you know, as long as one of us survives, then that's who we are, and we can live our best life. Kind of thing. But
they were also experiencing more time because they'd lived through the same period twice, but also they were in the box, which, like, Abe was in the box for 4 days. So not only was he awake for 4 days, and then he went back in time to do those 4 days again, but the time it took him to go back was like 4 days in the box. So that's like 3 times as much time as he should have experienced. If that makes any sense to you.
Yeah, I think so.
You have the 4 days that he did twice, plus the time travel itself took 4 days. Because he had to go backwards, and that's why when they had the little nugget thing that they put in there at the beginning, it was growing mold on it. That wasn't smart enough to get out when it was supposed to. It just ran through all the cycles until the machine ran down and popped out at the end, and that was like 5 years. Which was actually 5 minutes or whatever it was, right? It just was in there experiencing time travel, but not really popping out anywhere.
Yeah, so if they don't get out, they just start going back to B again.
Yes, they just keep looping from A to B to A to B to A to B. And it was like something like 13,000 times, and then it pops out for some reason. They don't really explain it. And it didn't really matter. They ended up moving on from that because then they learned how to get out after they go from A to B or B to A.
Yeah, B to A.
In fairness, it feels like there were a lot of plot points in this that didn't really matter. They kind of just moved on from after a certain point. Like they just kind of like introduce something, talk about it for a few minutes, and then be like, and we're moving on. Like there, and if that's the direction they wanted to go to cause the confusion, so be it. But there was a lot of times where I'm like, I don't really get what I'm looking at, but now it doesn't matter because we moved on to the next thing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to follow. It's just really hard to follow. That was supposed to be intentional. It certainly is confusing. But because this is a movie that interests me, I was willing to put in the work to rewatch it and understand it. And once you understand it, then you just start seeing things that you didn't even notice. Times when there's 2 sets of car keys there to showcase, hey, there are 2 copies of these people in the real world at the same time. So it was kind of interesting. And I liked how they didn't do, like, they showcased paradoxes, but they didn't showcase stupid paradoxes like Time Cop, like, oh, if I touch myself in a past, I'll explode the universe or something stupid, right? Like they literally fight each other. They're themselves, you know? So I like that they kept it really simple, and the paradoxes that did exist were basically like, if I go back and do something different, I still remember what happened to me, but there's a new version of me that isn't going to remember that because the phone didn't ring for him, and it did for me, but yeah.
Well, yeah, and I mean, there's multiple theories about time travel, right? This is kind of more of the closed loop theory that they've
it's the same universe
decided upon, instead of the multiple universes. Anytime you travel in time, you branch off into a new timeline, and then there's multiple timelines throughout, which they didn't. They just nixed that idea, right, and went with this singular time loop, and which is a good thing to do, because that lets them, in theory, keep this loop closed, keep only one of each of them going, until things get out of hand, and then you can see how fast and how quickly it can unravel, and how many unknowns there still are, and how they try to handle it is interesting to see. But
I really liked how the kid goes down the street setting off the car alarms and wakes Abe up, and he's pissed he missed all this sleep, and he's like, hey, why don't we just go in the box? We'll just stand in the street, scare the kids away. Then our real selves won't be having this conversation. We won't have to go back in time. That we'll get in the box like we're supposed to and pop out when we're supposed to. Like, it all made sense to him, but he was like directly influencing time and rewriting his own timeline so casually. It was crazy. And then of course they try to do that, and then they start seeing other things, and Abe's like, oh crap, we shouldn't be tampering. This is a bad idea.
It's already ruined.
It's already out of hand. Yeah.
Was the only, I'm just potentially forgetting a part of the movie, was the only reason they did that, because they talked about it being like an experiment, but was the only part of that so that basically their doubles could get a good night's sleep?
They said
no. So Abe woke up from the children, got the idea of like, hey, there's a way with these children that you can go and punch that guy in the face that you wanted to, live that experience, have it, and then we go back and reset, make sure we scare off the kids so that I never wake up and have this idea for us to do this. So you still get to experience it, and then we make sure it never happens.
Yeah.
So it's their idea of...
But that never happens because the guy's waiting in the car for them.
Exactly. It never happens because they've already screwed the whole thing up without knowing it, right?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's why he says, are you doing this to get a good night's sleep, or are you doing this for me? And he's like, a little bit of both. Because he wants Aaron to go ahead and have that experience, but he wants to get a good night's sleep. So, which is crazy. Like, let's wreck the timeline to get a good night's sleep and punch your boss in the face, which, I mean, that's got some merit too.
That just like goes to show, again, it's like the elevation of like, as you do this more and get more comfortable with it, you get more loose with maybe what you should and shouldn't
the
do,
rules,
testing things and doing things you shouldn't
at
do.
first they talk about trading market cap stocks because the volume is so huge they can't really influence it. Later they're just like, hey, let's pick anything that's got big movement. I love that it was kind of out of character, but I loved that Aaron was like, well, what does this company do? And Abe's like, what does it matter? It goes up. That's all we needed to do. And Aaron's like, no, but I really want to know. I think it should have been, they should have reversed that, and Aaron should have been the one who didn't care what they did, and Abe, being the inquisitive one wanting to know everything, he should have been the one who was like, what do they do? But they got those backwards in that, and so it was weird. But I did like that they were wondering, one of them was wondering.
I'm still on the other side of the fence on that, being like, you get to see the switching characters.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing, because like at that point of the movie, you are thinking Abe is the reckless one for just making a time machine and
that does make sense,
right? And it's not until later you realize like, oh, Aaron's the one that's been messing with this since the very beginning.
Also in that scene, Aaron says, oh, it's my first day, so I'm not really sure. And going back, you know, it's not his first day. He's already been doing this time travel thing. And I think they do a couple of kind of jabs at that, which are kind of pretty fun throughout the movie, giving you those hints of, oh, Aaron's been here before, so he's kind of being cheeky here in some of his dialogue, which is fun. Yeah. I also saw a theory online, which I thought was kind of interesting, that explained the inability to write anymore that Abe and Aaron both were suffering from after time traveling. And it's not that the time traveling itself that they were doing was causing that, but in the beginning of the movie, when they first kind of get this machine running, they both put their hand in the machine and pull it out because they feel whatever is happening to them. And people online are saying that their theory is their hand is desynced with the rest of time. So when they're trying to think of the letters, their hand can't keep up.
Oh, that's cool.
That was a really cool kind of theory because they both stick their hand in the machine in the early.
I see.
And pull it out at a random time, right? So it desyncs their hand a little bit. That's kind of a cool thought.
Yeah. So maybe their hand experienced more or less time, and so they no longer react. Yeah.
And it was just like a brief moment, but it was enough to like throw off their writing because their motor skills are screwed because of it, right?
Yeah. So, what do you guys think of this film as a $7,000 film. Do you think this was a success? I mean, $800,000 national tickets sales. That's something like made 78 times or something. I don't know. But it made money.
Yeah, $545,000 off of a $7,000 budget. Not bad at all. I think, despite what we have to say about this movie, there's no way of looking at this where this is not a success. From a passion project, he got to make it, got to put it out. The world at large accepts it as being better than being pretty good. Not like amazing, but being pretty good. From a financial perspective, he made, gosh, way more than 8,000 times the money. Now, he doesn't get to keep all that money. I'm sure it goes to different places and whatnot, but still, to go from $7,000 to $545,000 is pretty incredible. From an awards perspective, this has won a couple of awards for him. So like it kind of hit the critics mark, the audience mark, the financial mark. Like, there's not really a good way of saying that this isn't a great investment. And if none of that happened, he still is making his passion project come to life for less than the price of a car. Probably could pay this off pretty easily, worst case scenario. I think that portion of this is absolutely incredible.
Yeah. No, for a guy who literally couldn't take a second take because they didn't have the film to do it, yeah, the movie went a long way, for sure, right? I think they had like 80 minutes of footage. The movie ended up 78 minutes.
Barely anything left on the floor.
So yeah, I think there was probably a lot he learned and a lot he had to learn. I think it took like 3 years for him to write the script or something. It took him a long time to actually get this thing going. But when he's doing everything, it makes a lot of sense as to why. And without spending all that money. It's kind of funny because it feels like he's the character in the movie, right? Like, he doesn't have a lot of money. They're just in the garage tinkering with their own ideas and like talking about, oh, I can maybe get the money from here, or maybe we can, wait on this, oh, we don't need all of these, whatever the magnets are to make the barriers. We can cut them in half. We were over redundanting those. It's like very like interesting how it parallels real life to the movie in how it was made, which is cool. Very cool.
It looks like he's in Aaron, the character Aaron plays in quite a bit of stuff. He's got like 9 different previous things. Tales from the Loop is a show I watched. He's in 2 episodes of that. The Girlfriend Experience, Memory Box. A couple of things that I've seen. I don't remember actually seeing him in it, but it does. From what I've seen from him in this movie, I would be curious about more of his works, whether he's writing, directing, or acting in it. I would be curious. I'd also like to see Abe in some more stuff. I thought his character was interesting, and I want to see what that guy can do.
Yeah, I think out of the actors in this movie, if you can call them that, I think Abe's character, that actor has actually done quite a bit of work since. Shane less, but I think Shane is kind of in his own building or doing work that he believes in and passion projects, not so much, he doesn't care about what Hollywood is doing. So that's kind of why he hasn't done as much, but probably is very happy with what he's doing.
It looks like he wrote and directed at least one other film called Upstream Color.
Yeah, I'm going to be checking that one out. I don't know it yet.
No, I'm just looking at it. It's got about a $50,000 budget, so more, but still very, very independent.
Very low budget, yeah. I also found a little thing that, and this ties into the Knives Out franchise. Our boy Ryan Johnson of Knives Out, he did Looper, which is a time-traveling kind of cop movie with Bruce Willis and what's his name?
Love me some Looper.
Yeah, Gordon Levitt. And anyway, he sent the script to Shane to be like, hey, let me know how this works out in time travel. And Shane got back to him saying, no, this is bad. I'm wondering if Shane gave him some, pointers and tips on that to maybe elevate that time travel portion of that movie. Right?
Yeah, because Looper is what they call a djinn story. A djinn in time travel is something that exists within a loop. Something started it, but you aren't ever going to know what, because the thing that starts it is because of it, right? It creates itself in a loop, and that's Looper. don't want to spoil that movie for you, but it creates its own timeline. And so I do love time travel Jin stories. I think those are amazing. They're so much fun to watch. There's a good one with Ethan Hawke if you can get around all the sex changes. But that was a cool one too. That's actually a written story. Lots of great novels and short stories about Jin time travel, and those are really interesting. This isn't a Jin story, though. I bet there's probably a fan theory out there that makes it one. So I'd be curious to hear it.
Right. Yeah, I do think just this movie in general is just kind of regarded as one of the best time travel movies because of how focused it is and on how detailed it talks about the what ifs and what can happen and outcomes, various different outcomes. And they explain away a lot of different aspects of the theories of time travel in this movie, whereas a lot of other ones are like, oh, time travel is the reason the story's happening, but we don't care how it works, we just need it to tell the story.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So I think that's where this fundamentally is different than most time travel movies and why it's held in such high regard, if that makes sense.
Yeah. What do you guys think of the special effects of this costly film? Time travel box made out of PVC.
Is there a special effect in this movie?
There's not really. I'm not even sure if they really turned those magnets on in real life. Like when they go to put like the confetti, the hole punch, the paper hole punch, they pan over to the other camera to look through that screen, the monitor screen, so they could put it in because they probably didn't. They probably just dropped it. It fell through because there wasn't anything going on there. So that was an interesting way to do it. I think
they slowed the footage down. How did they do that with like the budget
No
what they had
budget?
access to?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, that's the beauty about. I love hate about this movie is they have like a lot of those really smart shots, directorial. There's so many very good shots in this, and then there's so many
horrible ones.
Shots.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh dang, man! Like some of these things, I think because they were forced to be creative in like that scene, you get very creative shots and really pleasant viewing. And then a lot of other shots are like, okay, well, we can just set the camera down and we'll just chat through it, and it's like a lot of boring shots. So it's interesting in that way.
Yeah. Yeah, I just think that with a budget this low, what they did was incredible. So they get higher points because of what they were working with, but at the same time, there's no special effects or practical effects hardly at all, really. It's just clever cinematography, really.
Yeah.
So
editing to make it look like there's two people in the same plane of existence, right?
yeah.
By literally cutting and not having them on screen at the same time.
Yes, just showing somebody's back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and even what you were talking about oh shoot, I lost my plot.
That's all right.
Oh,
We'll send you
about
back.
having well, you were talking about how the movie character kind of mirrors the real character. At one point in the movie, they're like gonna break their fridge just to get some copper wiring because that's how broke they are at this point to try and make their dream come true. I'm sure they didn't break a fridge to make this movie, but like it kind of feels like that. Like they're just scrapping everything together, putting whatever they can into the film. Just be like, okay, let's just grab and do what we can. As you said, the time machine's made out of PVC and duct tape, essentially. It's like probably just stuff they had lying around, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You had to rate this, or?
I don't mind that. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I did through rate. Yeah.
I don't remember. Are we going in the same order as usual, or are we doing?
I would love to go last, but no, we can go in the normal order.
What's the normal order? At this point, I'm confused.
Normal order? You're here every week. You don't know what the normal order is?
I don't really commit it to memory.
Jesus Christ.
Well, it is my movie. I guess I can go first.
I love you, man, but wow. If you like what we do and you want to help support us, consider joining our Patreon. There's a link down below. Huge shout out to our producers, as well as our executive producers, Real Bubba Hotep and Dino, and a massive shout out to our writers, Elder JM and Miss Hillary. And a massive shout out to our head writers, Elder JM 990 and Miss Hillary. Thank you all so much.
I mean, you still butchered her name. It's Mrs. Hillary, but it was a better take.
She'll forgive me.
I know. She's the best.
Okay. I love time travel. I think this is one of the best time travel films that you can watch. It's complicated. It's deep. It has, I hate to use the term layers to it because it doesn't work like that. It has loops to it and lots of theories and lots of interesting stuff that I could talk about endlessly because I just kind of enjoy this content. And then the fact that it's made so cheaply and still done so interestingly. It's not perfect, needs a lot of polish for sure, but still it was a ton of fun for me. Probably, I can't even pick a thing that was probably the worst. Maybe the acting. I think the dialogue was a choice, but not necessarily a bad one. Those might be the lowest points for me in the film. Didn't bother me at all. It almost just lended character to this film. So I keep going back and forth on the scoring of this one, so I'm just going to throw it out there. I think it's an 84. I think this is a really incredible film. A lot of that high score is driven by the fact of how cheap it was. If this movie was made for $500,000 or even $100,000, I would say, nope, that's not that great. It's still a fun movie to watch, but it would bring the score down, 5-10 points at least. But because they did this on $7,000 budget, just kind of blows me away, puts me in awe, and makes me wish that more people would get out there and with $5,000-$10,000 make movies like this for us to view and watch and hopefully even rate, because I think this is just one of those things that Hollywood didn't have any part of this. Those are some of the best movies for me to watch.
Very nice. The thing with Primer is that it is not the sum of its parts. If I was to rate this movie the way I rate the normal movies that we talk about, it would be an incredibly low score because there are a lot of things in this movie that just don't work for me. The sound is not very good. The cinematography is very yellow, very blue, and that might be a choice, but it's not necessarily an appealing one to look at. The acting, in the sense that I believe that the two main characters are really good friends, is good, but they're never given anything to do. They talk in the exact same tone the entire time. They're never really angry at each other. They're never really elated about anything. The one scene where the wife is like, good job, you're a hero for wanting to punch his boss. I honestly don't know if that was supposed to be sarcasm or she actually thinks he's a hero for wanting to punch his boss. It just kind of confused me because I can't read what she's trying to convey. The plot of this movie is incredibly dense and hard to get through. I don't think that makes it bad. It just, you really have to know what you're getting yourself into when you watch something like this. If you stumble across this movie, I almost guarantee you're not going to have a very good time, unfortunately. That said, I really like a lot of what this movie is doing. The fact that it's made for $7,000 gives it huge props because that is an incredible accomplishment. As we said, it hits the nail as far as critics, as far as audiences, as far as budget goes. It did incredible things. This is a movie that I watched last Sunday with the watch along. I watched it again on Tuesday. I don't know that I'll watch it again, but I wouldn't be surprised if I do. It's one that I have not been able to stop thinking about. Now, granted, I can't stop thinking about it because I'm trying to make sense of it because it does not make sense. So you kind of have to know that you're walking into this one knowing that you're going to want to watch it multiple times, knowing that you're going to want to have people to talk to about it, knowing that you're probably going to want to look up something on YouTube to explain it to you. If that sounds fun to you, this is going to be a really fun film. If that sounds like homework, you're not going to enjoy this. And that makes it kind of hard to score this one because normally the categories that I'd use would make this very, very, very low. But I can't deny that what this is an accomplishment. I did enjoy it. I may or may not watch it again. I'm not really sure. I can't go as high as Brian is though, because this is only my second viewing. And when I was saying that if I enjoyed this in my 20s or found this in my 20s, I might have enjoyed it a lot more. When Brian was talking, I realized why that makes sense to me. It's because in my 20s, I was surrounded by friends who I could sit around and talk to this with. Whereas now, family man at work, I don't have that social circle as much, except for here on Thursday nights. So this has been an incredible hour going through a bunch of stuff, kind of opening my eyes to a bunch of stuff. That's where this movie is going to shine. But if you're just watching something on a Friday night, I think this is going to be a pretty hard miss for you, unfortunately, because of how dense this is. I gave this a 62.
That makes sense. That checks. That's actually a really good rating for this film. I think that explains a lot. I mean, I'm sad about the lower score, but honestly, you could have come in at a 34 on this. It wouldn't have surprised me. I just don't know. You could land anywhere on this film, really.
He could have come in at a 34. He could have.
And here comes Will, getting his matches ready, gonna burn this mother down.
Don't get revenge on Dan on this one. This is Brian's movie. Wait till next week to get revenge.
It's funny to me because I could find a lot of parallels to this movie to Rumble in the Bronx. You know, it's somebody trying to tell their story in their way. Jackie Chan trying to showcase his unique style of entertainment and succeeding. Shane trying to create the most intense time travel movie and pretty much succeeding. But if you don't go for it, you don't get the ratings from some people. No, just kidding. It's all good. It's all good. I didn't mind this movie. I thought, I've said it a million times. I love the passion projects. I can parallel this to the likes of Evil Dead. You know, a dedicated group wanting to create something, doing everything they can to make it happen. Shout out to Sam Raimi, the best director we know. Thanks, Dan, for confirming that. And yeah, this took off. It hit Sundance and people loved it. And so it got limited theatrical release and made way more money than I think the creator ever thought it would. And the beauty of this is because it feels kind of like Knives Out, where it is very layered like an onion, whether that's the right term or not. But there's all of these fun little details put into the movie that you can go back and notice if you didn't catch them the first time. And that does show a very great detail in the script work of the story itself. That said, there's plenty of issues with the script itself as well. The lack of emotional core in this movie does pull you out a little bit. It makes it feel a little clinical. The lack of experience in filmmaking does take you out a little bit. For me, the biggest one, the sound mixing, was actually the detriment. That's probably the biggest strike against this movie that I can find, was the sound mixing, because it was just so piercing at some points when it really just didn't need to be, and tipped me out of the movie. That said, I think it's a great time traveling movie, and the theories brought forth are very tantalizing and make you want to discuss it. I think Brian bringing it here goes to show that. We talked about this easily for an hour and could talk about it longer. And I think we all discovered things from each other just from hearing, each other's versions of what we saw and understood from the movie. So I think that's perfect. And the beauty of, if you want to watch this movie now, like in the present day, is you've got the internet and you can look it up. There's still plenty of theories being posted about this movie today. So it's very cool how the internet can kind of keep that alive. Overall, lots of issues with this movie, lots of great things. 63 out of 100. I would watch this movie once. I watched it twice. I probably wouldn't watch it again, but for what it is and what it's trying to accomplish, I think it does a pretty good job.
Very nice. Brian, how do you feel about those scores?
They're all right, I guess. I don't know. You guys do talk about sound. No, I'm looking at mine. I gave the sound scoring pretty low too. I guess I just enjoy the heck out of this movie, and it was just so good for me to watch. So it's hard for me to rate it bad, even with all its flaws. I
have no issue with that whatsoever, because there are going to be movies where I'm going to rate really high.
Yeah,
nothing but nostalgia and my personal love.
And the flaws are counterbalanced by the budget. That budget just and the passion project, all it just showcases that even though it's not perfect, it's really good for what they were working with.
I mean, to me, it's another beautiful example of why Hollywood doesn't have to be creating what they're creating and can create these beautiful movies on a lower budget. Hollywood could pump out 100 small budget movies that are wonderful storytelling and whatever, at this and make one big budget movie, and combined they probably all make about the same money. The problem is they want money, instant gratification, much like the characters in this movie. So I think it's just like it is what it is, and hopefully people will still continue to make these interesting stories, and they will be recognized via different means than the theater or the Hollywood, bigwigs.
I just
Ryan,
hope
I have
that.
a question for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Would you be interested or excited if you found out that they were remaking this movie, not with one second, don't answer yet. Not with Shane Carruth directing, but with him as like an executive producer, like a on-set. What do you call that when you're like helping them out make the movie, but you're not actually making the movie?
Consultant.
A consultant, like he's part of the movie making process, but they've got an actual director and they've got actual actors and they've got a budget.
I would be.
Interest you, or would you be really terrified for that?
I would be very interested to see, as long as he is being seriously consulted on the direction of a higher budget version of this, and that it continued to have the heart and soul of this movie, then I would be very happy to see something where they polished it out better. We could hear things better, see things clearly without, there are times when I'm not sure if they were using shaky camera ideas there or they were just couldn't afford a tripod, This is how it felt. So I would be interested to see that. But I think what would be more interesting would be to see something like a complete reboot where in a new movie, they reference this movie and they say, oh yeah, time travel like that movie Primer. And then they build off of the core of what this movie is in a new high budget, all of its own kind of thing. I think that would be a little bit more interesting for me.
Fair enough.
Because how every time travel movie has like its own rules. Like this one has its own rules, right?
You have to.
They kind of outline it, but the rules in this one make sense, and part of the movie is them understanding and learning the rules as they go through. Where other ones are just like they just state the rules and then the movie plays out.
Exactly.
Yeah. I wish. Well, we'll get to that on a different franchise, I guess. You're talking about movie rules and not about Primer specifically, but one of the things that's always bothered me, I wish Terminator specifically had a we can only go back so far rule. Yeah. Because they always kind of move forward and like, oh, now we're in 82, now we're in 94, now we're in 2000. It's like, that doesn't, like you go back to like kill her great grandmother or something. You wouldn't go to 2010, but it would make sense if, we can only go back 25 years. And we're limited by that or something. Anyway, like this movie, you can only go back to when the machine starts.
When the machine starts, yes.
All right, let's do this real quick and we can discuss more. Let's see. Not a video. Curious. Image.
Dan's living in his own world over there. Take the beeping.
Well, I
wanted
clicked video and I got a picture of Brian, and I'm super curious to go back and see what that video is because it looks interesting, but I don't remember it. And with that, we find Primer coming in with a 62, an 84, and a 63 for a grand total of 70, putting it just below midway on our list for the Patreon picks / March Movie Madness. Brian, I know this is way too low for you, but
I was hoping it would beat A Fish Called Wanda. I definitely think this is a better film than Shutter Island. I think more thought went into Primer, more passion went into Primer than Shutter Island. So I definitely think it belongs up there, at least with it. I'm not super happy about the score, but you guys are correct in that there's lots of flaws in this film and it drags it down.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm not upset by it. Of course, it's fine. I think it is a well-deserving movie to be seen. You should give it a chance. Whether you are into it or not, obviously, will affect your final outcome of this movie, right? If you're not like a time travel lover like Brian, it probably won't hit as hard as it does for Brian, and that's any movie, any genre, right?
Mhm.
If you're not
Yeah.
into the sci-fi thriller of time travel, you're not going to be as into this movie as Brian. I love the concept of time travel, and I
You
think this one
promised I could
executes
get better drops.
a lot of the theories.
You said
and
you were going to
things
give me
really
better
well.
drops.
It just maybe doesn't hold up in a lot of other areas, which is fine. I wouldn't change this movie for the world. I wouldn't want to see a remake of this movie, even if Shane headed the whole thing. I think the beauty of this movie is how it was made and what they got out of it with what they had or didn't have.
I will say, looking at this list, even though it is in the bottom half, let's say, with the exception of maybe Moon, this might be the next one. Like, has the best possibility of me watching it again out of the movies on this list, and could climb pretty significantly based off of multiple viewings. You said you've seen this one multiple times, Brian.
Yeah, I'm well over a dozen for sure.
So this one has a better chance to climb. Like, it's lower than A Fish Called Wanda, but I don't think I'm ever watching Fish Called Wanda again. Whereas, like, there's a decent chance I'm going to rewatch this one. Moon, City of God, Sound of Music. There's a good chance I'm going to see those again before passing on. But like the bottom half of this, I'd be pretty okay not seeing, with the exception of Primer. So like, who knows?
Yeah, like you said, Dan, if you're interested in going down rabbit holes, this is a fantastic movie to do so, because there's so much content on the internet and people who want to talk about this film, because there's so many neat things that you can find in it. So if that's your bag, go for this. If time travel is your bag, go for this. If indie films are your bag, go for this. If none of those strike a chord with you, then this probably isn't for you, because you're going to get stuck on the cinematography. You're going to get stuck on the poor sound quality. You're going to get stuck on the questionable acting or character writing in this film. You're going to get stuck on those things for sure. Those are hard stopping points for some people. But I love time travel. I love indie films. I love talking about stuff with other people. So this just really hits hard for me.
Perfect outro. All right, let's do this. All right, that is our rating of Primer. But what do you guys think? Were we way too harsh on this indie darling, or does this score make a bunch of sense to you and you're going to skip on this one? Let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear from you. We record this live over at twitch.tv/The Mongoolie Show. So if you want to head over there and hit the follow button, you can hang out with us every Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Or if you made it this far in the video, you probably enjoyed it. Consider hitting the like and subscribe buttons so we see you in the next one.
Portland RoboCop, we can hang out anytime, buddy. Moon, Primer, those are great movies to have at the top of your list.
B-Ridge, I do disagree with your statement. You feel like if you'd watch a movie again and again, it should rate higher. There's some movies I've watched once that are incredible, but I never want to see again.
Yeah.
That.
Yep.
Not only that, but I'm fully admitting that there is a chance where I'm going to watch it again and score it higher, but there's also a chance I watch it again and be like, you know what? No, this just isn't what I want it to be. This is just not good for me. And it goes lower. It gets to the point where I'm just like, nah, it's just cheap. It's just confusing. It's too heady. I'm not smart enough for it, whatever the confusion may be. So like, this is where I am after watching it 1.75 times. That's my honest answer. I wasn't able to fit it in a second time or a third time or whatever. I'm content and happy with my score on the fact that Will was right there with me. I mean, I don't want to say it makes me feel justified, but like, I don't feel bad about it.
Don't you dare compare yourself to me. Don't you dare.
If you both came in the 90s and I was in the 60s, I'd be like, shit, okay, my bad.
Those words right out of your mouth.
I have no intention of seeing City of God again. I don't want to watch it again. Still one of the best films. Right. Period.
Yeah.
Great film. I just don't want to watch that again. It was dark. It was hard. It was hard to sit through. It's just a little too powerful in the ways that I don't enjoy watching. So that's a great movie that I won't want to watch again.
It's a movie that I can see myself watching again if I was showing it to somebody.
Yeah.
But even though, like, I bought the DVD to watch it for the watch party, I will not on a Friday night just be like, man, I'm bored. Oh, City of God. Yeah, I could go for being depressed right now.
Yeah.
It's like Schindler's List for me. That'd be the one that I will watch it again to show to my daughters.
Right.
I've seen the movie maybe twice ever in the 30 something years that it's been out. It just, it's amazing.
I saw it. Yeah, I agree. Seen it once. That's enough. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So one of the things that I was prepping myself for, one of the arguments, sometimes I think about what I'm going to say ahead of time. Sometimes I don't have time, but sometimes I like to try and prep. And this is a movie I couldn't stop thinking about for the week, not only in a what am I going to say, but also just in a curiosity about how the movie goes.
Yeah.
And you kind of did hit on a bunch of these, so I do appreciate it. I legitimately did enjoy having this conversation with you guys, because you brought up a lot of good points for why certain things are happening. Because I was walking into this review kind of like, there's a lot of stuff that feels like it comes out of nowhere and goes nowhere. And admittedly, I was pretty confident Brian's score wouldn't be a perfect 100 on this because he doesn't like to give out 100s. But when I gave Jurassic Park a perfect 100, you guys were hitting me back on like, well, there's this one line in there. Why is that one line in there? That's what a waste of time that one line is. I'm like, there's entire sections of this movie where I'm like, what are we doing? But admittedly, A, didn't give it a perfect score, and B, did hit me back with why those scenes exist to be in there, whether it's plot development or character development, even with the plot development is for characters we don't really see.
Right.
Like the dad in the car behind them, and then he gets out, and like honestly, when I'm watching it and I'm seeing what's happening, because you see Aaron kind of run towards the camera and disappear, Abe looks like he gets scared and runs in the opposite direction. I didn't get that he was like, oh, I'm gonna cut him off at the pass.
Right, yeah.
And then all of a sudden there's just two people laying in a backyard, and he's like, oh, what? And I'm like, are these?
Yeah, what just happened?
I didn't recognize it as Aaron at first, and I have no idea what Mr. Garrick looks like, and I'm just like,
yeah. And there was something in the garage that looked like other bodies at one point. So like my first time through, I had no idea what that was all about. And you're right, that comes out of nowhere and goes nowhere. And you don't. The only reason it's there is to showcase that time travel got messy.
Yeah, and even the hands, like, oh, I can't write letters down. Why can't I write letters down? It doesn't really, like, it gives you the sense that, like, okay, this is bad for them. This is not something they can do indefinitely.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really go anywhere. And, like, the scene where he's just all of a sudden bleeding out of his ear, like, if you've got, like, that's brain damage. Like, if you're bleeding out of your ear, there's a good chance that's brain damage.
Yeah.
And they're just like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Moving on.
And there's supposed to be time travel sickness,
States,
and I
go
think
get yourself checked out.
I think they cut out the time travel sickness because if you have time travel sickness and you're going to die if you keep traveling through time, then Aaron building a bigger machine doesn't really work as a plot. It just doesn't work because he's going to kill himself using it. And so that doesn't make any sense. So I think
he might just be selling it, right?
It could be too, yeah. But why sell it?
Money.
Why? Yeah. Why? Exactly.
I don't know. He's doing his own thing. Who knows what the hell he's doing?
Unless
if his clone is living with his wife, then he can't really use his name or face to get fame or popularity. And if he's got a time machine, money is not an object. What are you doing?
Well, it could be the time machine kills you if you use it too much. So he's going to sell it and cash out. But the problem is,
are they playing the stock market? Because they talk about playing the stock market, but you never really see anything. And I get that, like,
and yeah, they never show off their wealth either.
In it.
Yeah.
But like, is that something that's legitimately happening?
Yes, I think so. I think there was one scene where they're like, "Ooh, we just sold, great work."
Yeah.
But then it shifts so quickly to the dark side of time travel that's just like, we've moved on from that.
And frankly, I think it's a cliche that they show off the wealth that they made and they're like, woo, bragging about it. That's a cliche in time travel movies, or anything where the wealth gets to them. And I don't think that Shane Kurth wanted us to focus. Just messing with me right now. I don't think Shane wanted us to be focused on greed as any kind of aspect in this. I think it was more power that Aaron wanted, control that Aaron wanted, rather than greed that overcomes them. Because it wasn't the greed that overcomes them, it's the backstabbing and infighting.
What has he got control over at the end of the movie?
Space and time. Just
like, he has to punch a guy in the face, which we never see, and not feel the repercussions of it.
Which they didn't even get to. They didn't even get to.
He gets to save a girl who was never in danger. Okay. Like, what is he?
Because he was going to try and help his friend, but that ended up not happening either, because everything unraveled before they even had the chance, because the reality was they were tinkering too much. So
I know, let's tinker more.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, I think it also is like, I think you'd be addicted to that, right? Like, oh, something didn't go my way today.
Every situation.
I could just go back. I can just fix it. And that's kind of where it felt like they kind of got into their and that's like the fall of them, right? And
Yeah.
the fall of their friendship and everything is like, it just gets in your head of like, oh, I can change this, or oh, I can make it better, or oh, I can do this. And I think it made them get sloppy, made them break the loops, got all the clones in there, or whatever, duplicates, whatever you want to call them, different versions, and that's why it's the cautionary tale that it is. What those scenes are that trigger these happenings and the falling outs and the ultimate end of the friendship doesn't matter. It's that's what's happening, because there's too many unknowns and it's too hard to control everything.
Maybe that's my problem at the end of the day, is as much as I love sci-fi, I am a character-driven person.
Yeah.
And the characters in this are
Shallow.
yeah. Like, we see that one of them is married, but he doesn't ever seem to show any concern for his wife, daughter.
Right.
Like, at no point does he, like, okay, like, sure, it's hard to show the wealth in a movie this small, right? Because they don't have the wealth to do it. But, like, you can have a line like, hey, babe, I did really well on the stock exchange. Why don't you go get something? I don't know. I don't know what I expect. But, like, I guess it was, he's the bad guy. He's supposed to be the bad guy. But it was still really off-putting that, like, the main character just, like, walks away from his wife and child at the end just so we can go and make a bigger one.
Yeah. I thought it made him that much more villainous, because he just didn't really seem to care about his wife at all. I wish that we would have had something that showcased that a little bit better, so that we could see that he either didn't care about his wife at all and he really was this asshole, or that he changed into an asshole. We don't know, because there just wasn't enough movie showcasing some of that stuff.
Well, and if I understand the movie at all, we never see original Aaron. We only ever really see time traveling Aaron, right?
Well, you see original Aaron,
like,
before you create the time traveling machine.
I mean, okay, sure, for
First
5
20
minutes,
minutes.
10 minutes.
Yeah, that's true. In the opening sequence when they're in the garage. But as soon as you see Abe walk up on that hill and Aaron's sitting on the bench, and Aaron already has the earpiece in, as soon as that scene starts, that's when Abe is going to tell Aaron about the machine. And Abe has just finished making the fail-safe machine and doing his original one-day run.
Yeah.
And that's when it all starts, because Aaron Prime, which we didn't really even see, ends up finding about the failsafe machine and making his own, and goes back in time. And now Abe Prime is walking up to Aaron 234, I don't know, and telling him all about the time travel machine, which he already knows about because he's gone back. You know, like it's just crazy. I don't know. It's a damn good time travel movie. I like it.
Yeah. And another nice note is that all of the effects, like the bleeding ear, happened to Aaron first, which was interesting because we think originally Abe was the time traveler first. So he's feeling the effects. So it's like another, like, oh, that's why it's happening to him. He's done this multiple times already, which is cool.
Nice.
Anyway, see, I said this in my recap review that we talked about it easily for an hour and we would continue to talk about it.
Yep.
It's just so easy.
Yeah, it's easy to talk about it. Tony Scangili in the chat. Holy cow. How you been, Tony?
I don't know. I will go back a second. Not about the movie specifically, just about us. I did kind of talk a little bit before we got started. I'm not going to go back and re-record it, but Bubba Hotep just signed up at the writer level. Yeah, upgraded from the executive producer to the writer. So thank you very much to that. He'll be one of 3 people now helping us decide what movies we're going to be watching going forward. I believe next week we're going to be watching Sing Street. That's my choice for March Movie Madness. We're going to be doing that on the R Rating Discord for free. Anybody can join that. That is not held on paywall of any kind. So if you're interested in checking that movie out, it's hard to come by because it is like a British indie film. I have the DVD of it though, so I will be playing that. Anybody can come and watch. But after that is going to be the Patreon pick at the end of the month, and I believe we're doing American Beauty. So the next month, Bubba Hotep, Miss Hillary, and Elder Jam 990 can all work together and try and figure out a pick that we can go forward on.
Yeah.
And that watch party, is that going to be 7 Central, 8 your time on Sunday? Okay.
If you go to our Discord, there are events, and those events automatically change into whatever time zone
I need
you're
to
in.
remember to click those events. I keep forgetting to do that.
Go to the events and click that you're interested, and it'll give you a reminder when it's coming up in your time zone, which is super handy, and I love Discord.
Okay, I gotta see what Portland RoboCop is putting in front of my face.
I was gonna say, like, I'm super curious and nervous at the same time.
Okay, so there's how Run 7 sees Primer. That's interesting. Okay, and this is how Monguli sees Primer. The ball of yarn.
He's not wrong.
That's pretty good. Okay. Yep, that's accurate. Yeah, that's accurate. That's accurate.
Yep.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Well, thank you, Brian. It's a great pick.
Good. I'm glad it
Nothing
got us
else,
talking.
If nothing else, I'm very glad that I saw it because it is one that you have been mentioning since you and I got together, started talking movies. So it's been on my mind for a long time. I'm glad that I finally got to check it out and we got to have this time to sit and talk about it because I think if I didn't have you guys to talk about it with, I don't think I'd have anybody to talk about it with. Mm-hmm. And my brain would have exploded halfway through the movie.
Yeah, this is just one of those movies that when I watch other time travel movies, I have to compare it to this. I have to hold it up and just be like, did their rules do as well as Primer rules? Did theirs make as much sense as Primer's? Was theirs interesting, or was theirs hot tub time machine, generic garbage? We have a machine that takes us back in time and we're going to tell a stupid story around that. So, by the way, I'm not a fan of hot tub time machine.
Shocker. Yeah. I don't. I have said this many times. I will say it again. I don't care what a movie puts forward as being how the world works, as long as the movie sticks to what the movie says is how the time works.
Yeah.
When a movie breaks its own rules, that drives me batty.
Yep. Get out of here if you're breaking your own rules.
They're like, oh, you can go back and forth in time during this machine? Cool.
I think that's why I have such trouble with Stephen King stories, whether it's the book or the movies. Stephen King doesn't know where his stories are going to end when he sits down to write them. He's usually on a lot of drugs when he writes them, and he just goes, and the movies or stories just flow forward, and the rules change in a whim, and it drives me nuts. I can't deal with it. So sometimes they make movie adaptations of Stephen King films and they stick to a little bit more structure, like The Shining is a little closer to structure, but yeah,
that was our biggest problem with it, was you're just like, what is happening at the end?
Yeah,
the
it doesn't have rules.
Specifically, you're just like, I don't understand. Yeah, like just whatever happens in the moment is what's happening. Okay. Boy. All right. Yeah, I got nothing else. And there's a new game that I was debating asking Will and some other people they want to play, but honestly, I'm just bagged at this point. I might save that for Saturday morning.
Yeah,
travel is tiring work, man.
Safety Not Guaranteed is a fantastic one. I like that. I did enjoy The Time Traveler's Wife. I thought I was going to be watching some romantic movie, and it turned out to be a great time travel movie. In fact, I'll probably try and sucker my wife into watching that because she's never seen it. And I have not yet seen Time Crimes. That was talked about earlier in chat, and it reminded me that I haven't yet seen it, so I'm going to be checking out Time Crimes. 12 Monkeys was great. 12 Monkeys had some pretty decent structure to it, so I liked it, but I just like the dark aspect of 12 Monkeys. Plus, got some great actors in it.
It's got some great actors in it. Like, that's one of the ones that I point to a lot when people are like, oh, Brad Pitt's just a heartthrob. I'm like, actually,
nope.
He's got some to his chops.
Yeah, real good.
All right, Brian, what are you up to lately? Does anybody can check you out going forward? Are you back to doing stuff on Sunday?
I know I said I was going to be streaming more often, and then I still kind of got stuck on some stuff that really sucked, and it wiped me out. I wasn't able to get to like my Sunday stream and stuff, but I wasn't going to leave this little old lady without hot water because I fucked up her water heater. So I spent 7 hours on a 2-hour job there. And those things keep happening, and I keep missing my stream schedule. But I'm getting things under control. I'll be getting back to streaming more content, back to my usual schedule of Arc Raiders at random. Sundays, we'll be doing Cyberpunk. And when we finish Cyberpunk, I will switch, do my... horror, survival, scary movie stuff. I think I've got Dead Space and a few others in the chamber ready to go to. So Sundays are going to get back on schedule, and then of course Thursdays are here. And all the while, I am still trying to find time for a real beautiful passion project more of a talk show about men's mental health and fitness, something that people can benefit and we can get together and just talk. But I'm a long ways away from that. That could be years away before that actually really gets going. But I am gathering content and ideas and formulating stuff so that eventually I could have a group discussion of something more meaningful than just video games and movies.
Wow. Shots fired. All right.
Just saying, this is great mental health, coming here and hanging out with friends and talking, and it's good to chill and have video games. But unfortunately, I see too many people hiding behind their computer screen, hiding behind their phone, never getting out, never experiencing anything. And I would like to drive men my age to go and experience life and then come back to Twitch and YouTube and share their stories with me and their friends.
Sounds awesome. What about you? What are you up to tomorrow night?
I don't know. I never know what I'm doing anymore. We played a crazy game called Burgle and Gnomes last week, and it was pretty hilarious. It's kind of another along the lines of Peak and Are We There Yet kind of game, where people run around causing mayhem. So we might do that. There was a lot of naked old man shooting us, so that's potential. Something with friends. Usually Friends Friday has friends playing games with me, so come on over if you want to play some games.
I'm sorry, I was adjusting my headphones and I came in on naked old men shooting you?
Yep.
Okay, all right, I'll be sure to tune in.
I know what I'm doing Friday night now. Question, am I old enough? Never mind. All right, so I am going to be on Saturday morning testing out this game that you were playing today, Cleaning Agent. How was Naquan Last Paradise?
It is interesting. It's fun. It's early in play testing, I think, so there's a lot of clunkiness to a lot of elements of it.
Okay.
Dadpool and I were both playing. We both crashed out a couple of times while we were in game. So there are some issues, obviously, which is fine. We signed up for a play test. You have to expect that, but it's kind of like Arc Raiders in the way you're looting to craft and stuff in an extraction element, but it's definitely more focused on like melee attacking, and the PvE is zombies kind of loitering around, but there are people there too. So it definitely changes the gameplay a lot. It's much more methodical, slow moving, trying to sneak around, being quiet. You can throw bottles to move zombies away from you and things like that with noise. So it's cool, atmospheric in that way. So it's worth checking out. And if you can get past some of the obvious problems they need to fix before it releases.
Very cool. All right, well, I will hopefully be checking that out on Saturday morning. Maybe not the entire stream, but for at least a chunk of it, and see how we do, and then move on to something else. But that sounds fun. All right, guys, thank you so much for hanging out. This has been a ton of fun. For everybody out there, again, I'm just going to keep saying it, hammering it, !movies, !podcast. Go check us out wherever you want, YouTube, podcast, whatever. Hit the follow button, hit the subscribe button, leave a rating, whatever you can do to just try and help us get that out there, assuming you like what we do. If you don't like what we do, why are you doing this to yourself by being here? I don't know. You guys have been awesome. Let's raid out and call it a night.
I'll be raiding out as well. Tony, you don't need to worry about it, Tony. You have enough life experiences that you can come to Twitch and share those stories endlessly. You have the ability to doom scroll until you die eating cake, so go right ahead, buddy.
That doesn't suck
I'm
at all.
going to raid out myself to the Without Context show, which I've kind of been enjoying. These guys, they're new to me. I've hung out a couple times since I raided them last. I'm going to send them over there.
The Mongole show just rated with 9 viewers.
Thanks, everybody.
Dan just raided with the 9 viewers. Beat me to it, son of a bitch.
Well played.
All right, well then I'm going to send everybody off to the Without Context show. So thank you guys for joining me. Start that raid right now and get us sent off. Thanks, Dan. It was lots of fun.
Agreed. Looking forward to Sunday.
Appreciate you letting me hang out with you again. I'll see you Sunday.
Cheers.
All right, everybody, and thank you guys for showing up and hanging out, talking movies with us. I know we don't get to chat with chat as much during the movie ratings, but I'm always reading what you guys have to say, and I'm glad you guys are here to watch us ramble on about stupid movies. And don't forget, watch parties on Sunday night, 7 Central, 8 Eastern. Apparently Dan's doing this one, so anybody can go in and watch it. You don't have to be a Patreon member, so go check that out. And I'll see you guys there. Have a good one. Bye.